Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/Surviving Infidelity, where OP discovered that his wife had a one-night stand during a work trip. Let's begin. Don't threaten me with a good time. Posted by Reddit user Meowschwitz in there.
A lot of lawyers are making the news with their bad decisions, which reminded me of a story I hope you enjoy. I had an appearance for a pre-trial hearing in a small town court. This hearing went okay for my client. The other attorney did not react strongly positively or negatively, which made sense because the decision was basically a 60-40 split of what we were disputing. Neither of us was a big winner or loser. His demeanor changed drastically after the judge dismissed us. In the hallway, he stomped up to me while I was discussing next steps with my client and said we needed to talk. I said something along the lines of "as soon as I'm done with client." The opposing counsel huffed off and I finished my talk. To set the stage for this next part, I am almost exactly average for height and weight. The opposing counsel was probably 4-ish inches taller, 60-ish pounds heavier, and 30-ish years my senior. Imagine a big belly, drinker's nose, and some flop sweat if he saw the elevator was out of service. So I say goodbye to client and walked over. Without any small talk, he gave me something close to "you think you can just walk in here and act like that." This was confusing because nothing really went great or terrible for me or him. So I said something like "act like what?" This really set him off, and I pinky swear I was not trying to antagonize him with that question. The opposing counsel then says, verbatim, "You better hope I never see you outside this court, because I will kick the shit out of you." What he did not know is that I really enjoy fighting. After seeing the Power Rangers punch those clay soldiers, I begged my parents for karate classes. After that was judo in high school, Brazilian jiu-jitsu in college, and an attempt to fight in the UFC after college. I thought I was tough right up until actual professionals hit me. Then I thought, wow, I'm actually a huge pussy, and went for a graduate degree. So I told the opposing counsel, "Sounds good. We need to sign some forms first though. Here's my availability. Let's find a time and meet at this gym. Do you want boxing or grappling gloves?" I thought for sure he would make up an excuse, but he agreed. So we set up a time and everything. The small town court gossip mill did its thing, and a couple of court staff showed up to watch the fight. In an anticlimactic turn of events, the opposing counsel was a no-call, no-show. The next time opposing counsel and I appeared before the judge, who did not show up to watch the fight, the judge made a snarky comment like, "Is this really worth fighting over?" and the opposing counsel didn't have anything to say to that.
I'm assuming that this piece of trash has been doing this for years now, but this was the only time that someone actually stood up to him. So he ran away with his tail between his legs and a cheeseburger in his mouth. Well done, OP. And now for today's second story. My girlfriend thinks I'm cheating on her because she found a bra strap in my backpack. I have exhausted all of my options and have no idea how to convince her. What other options can I do to prove my innocence? Posted by Reddit user BR4Thor.
Oh boy, is this going to be a potentially interesting one. Context first. I went on a business trip for 5 days in Vegas. I am with a large group of very close friends, all men, in an Airbnb. Half of them is extremely outgoing, the other half are extreme recluses and hermits. I fell right in between. However, this trip I basically stayed at the Airbnb the entire week. On one particular day, everyone had gone out. During this span of about 3 hours, I had a midterm exam and stayed back at the Airbnb, finished the exam and gotten ready to go out to the venue. This is a key part later in the story. On the final day, I ended up leaving my belongings at a friend's house, went out with my friends whom also had their wives, mind you, to a bar-like venue place. That night, we had decided to split into 2 groups. One consisted of about 90% of all my friends going back to the venue. The other 10% consisted of myself and a couple others who decided to go eat and call it a night. Fortunately but unfortunately, I crashed at this friend's Airbnb and did not have anything on me besides my phone. Fast forward, on the way back home, everything is all great and dandy until my girlfriend is unpacking my backpack and finds a single bra strap. Literally just the string, with those 2 S-hooks at the end. I did not partake in any extracurricular activities that involved any woman or stranger whatsoever. Initially, I had thought she was just playing a joke on me, but no, she was completely serious. And of course, her feelings, naturally, are valid. Lots of questions are exchanged, and obviously the only answer I have is I don't know. Of course, a pretty suspect answer. I tried to retrace all my steps and she had discovered the break in between that one particular day, saying that is the perfect opportunity for me to commit some good old adultery. Makes perfect sense, of course my luck. Personally, I am completely just dumbfounded and baffled. I know exactly where I was, at what time and what I was doing. I asked all of my friends who put the bra strap in my backpack. Me thinking, this is all just a prank, right? Nobody has any idea until one of them mentioned, didn't X say he was going to pack your stuff up since you crashed at Y place? Awesome. I finally have a clue. I gave X a message and well, all he really said was sorry bro, maybe I did. I kind of just threw everything in your backpack and luggage. Okay, well it's not a definitive answer and makes it look like all my friends are covering up for me now, just my awful luck. Ultimately, I've exhausted every option I have. From suggesting on showing bank statements proving no weird transactions, all of my alibis at XYZ location, full access to all applications and messaging ordeals, all of my friends vouching and physically seeing and being there where I've been aside from that one day, but I'll cover this in a bit. I've even suggested that, hell, I will contact the Airbnb owner. I don't even know if this is okay to do, to request a damn video surveillance of our stay during the 5 days. This is absolutely driving me crazy and hurts me so much, especially from the person I love and trust the most. This must be how wrongly convicted people feel. I know from the rules it says that it doesn't allow vague requests for advice, but dear Lord, please, anyone, if you have the slightest idea, please help me. What other options can I do to prove my innocence? Thank you everyone and you all have my sincerest gratitude. T.S. Love, if you see this on my computer or account, just know that I love you very much and very dearly. I am seeking help from the rest of the world. Update. It was confirmed that it was my friend's wife's bra strap. Sent a photo of the strap to my friend and the friend asked his wife and wife confirmed it was hers. He briefly explained the situation and his wife just died of laughter. Thank you everyone for helping me and offering your input, insight, thoughts, concerns, etc. You are all greatly appreciated. The mystery has been backtracked and it has now become the biggest inside joke. Girlfriend and I will laugh about this for many decades to come. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day.
OP, I'm glad that everything is now resolved, and in my cynical mind, I honestly thought that one of your friends planted it there because he was in love with your girlfriend or has some form of grudge against you or something. Anyways, I'm glad it all worked out. And now for today's final story. My wife cheated while on a work trip. I never expected this from her. Posted by Reddit user Aggravated Agamemnon.
My wife and I have been together for 11 years, married 6. We have a toddler. 5 days ago, I learned of a month-long emotional affair between my wife and a coworker of hers and that they had spent time in her hotel room while on a work trip 2 weeks prior, and that time together included a good amount of kissing. I learned this by the affair partner's wife's mother messaging me on Facebook with 15 screenshots of their Instagram conversation that occurred during that work trip, including comments between the two of them reminiscing about their chair time, along with loads of kissy face emojis and other flirtatious banter. When I read the mother-in-law's initial Facebook message, I was shaking, heart racing, tunnel visioned. My wife was upstairs, so when she came down, I immediately asked if anything happened during the work trip I should know about. I learned here that the term is known as trickle truth. Denials of anything that happened was the response. Eventually, after 10 minutes, she finally admitted to getting drunk at the hotel bar and making out with him in her room. I asked her point blank if she slept with him or if anything sexual happened. The response was a resounding no. She proceeded to tell me there was no sexual touching, no hands up shirts, no parts exposed, no feeling up, no erections felt, just kissing for an extended period of time while sitting in a chair. This is what she's told me multiple times. Well, it started at the doorway with him initiating, then they went to the chair. She ended up getting sick gastrointestinally and spent time on the floor, bathroom and on the bed, while he lay on the other side of the king-size bed until 6:30 a.m. The next night on their work trip in a different town, it was a 2-night thing, he spent time in her hotel room until 10 p.m. or so. The text message there was him asking if she could use company and her response was something like you can join as she was watching TV. Some kissing also occurred that night while she was sober. My wife has had an alcohol problem for many years and had been sober for almost 6 years. Before this work trip, she and I had a discussion about her desire to bring alcohol back into her life on a very limited basis during date nights or going away with me. Also included discussion about her having beverages with her work peers when they go on these quarterly trips. I obviously disagree with the suggestion, as did almost everyone in the r/alcoholism sub, but she did it anyway. She lied to me about how much she had to drink that night and ended up telling me she had multiple drinks, including 2 shots at the hotel bar with her work peers. So after 6 years, this was the first time she was drunk, and then this happens. Back to the emotional affair. I learned that the flirting, banter, and whatever else has been going on since early October, so I'm told. I asked my wife why she did what she did, if as she says our marriage is solid. And, yeah, it is. We have a child together, we don't really argue about anything, and we have a good home life. Our intimacy has dwindled since having our child 2 years ago, but the bedroom isn't dead. After some time for her to really think about her actions, the response I got was that it was the excitement, newness, and the feeling of being desired, along with him just being a great work friend. After more deeper discussions around this line of thinking, she mentioned that it likely would have never gone sexual. I had asked multiple times how far this would have gone if I and the AP's spouse had not learned of this. She concluded that what she enjoyed from it was having him crawl out of his skin, as she puts it. Basically, obtaining some pleasure over being desirable and wanted that would likely never be resolved by a sexual relationship. She explained to me repeatedly that she does not feel any romantic or intimate feelings for this guy and that it just happened. She admitted it was selfish, wrong, and I told her what hurt me the most was the betrayal and secrecy. I had so much anxiety and lost sleep when she went on her work trip because of her flawed relationship with alcohol, and little did I know that that was the least of my worries. "You just have to trust me, babe," was a text I was sent the morning after when I asked her about how much she had to drink the previous night. I never would have expected her to do this, though. Regarding the affair partner and his wife, I learned that this isn't the first time he's done this in his 7 years of marriage, and that she did go through his Instagram chats on another device, actually seeing the convos live as they occurred because she had an inkling something would happen while he was away for this work trip. I've been in contact with her through text, and she's a very pleasant but hurt woman who will likely file for divorce. It's obvious, though, that he just doesn't care what hurt he causes her or what he has allowed to cause others. So for me, I'm having very conflicting feelings about her short-lived affair and what may come out of this. Since D-Day I've felt extreme hurt, then anger, then forgiving, then anger again, and at times when I feel fine, I'm afraid I'm coming off as a pushover, showing my wife that she can get away with this again. They will be traveling again come January, and I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, this incident has triggered some real deep and open discussions with my wife about desire, intimacy, and what she and I want. It first started with me trying to understand what she was seeking or what she felt was missing from her life, and if there was anything we could do together to bring some excitement or feeling of newness into our marriage without the secrecy and betrayal. We aren't explicitly talking about opening the marriage, but she has expressed that she would be fine and would encourage me to have a person at work I could banter with and potentially kiss. I don't know. It's weird to me right now. Is this her way of giving me a pass, or even saying she wants an open marriage but doesn't want to really admit it yet to me or herself? Divorce right now is not on the table, and I know an open marriage with boundaries of some sort really isn't the best solution for something like this, and I realize that it shouldn't even be discussed or considered unless the marriage is truly solid. Thanks for reading my disorganized thoughts. Your input is welcome.
OP, she is not giving you a pass when she has offered an open relationship. She wants an open marriage because she wants to fuck all of the men she meets without the consequences. She wants you to pay for everything while she is out there getting drunk and sucking dick. You are correct when you said that you will be a pushover if you let this pass. So don't be a simp. Kick her to the streets and file for divorce. Talk to a lawyer about getting child support and full custody, because she obviously cannot be trusted due to her alcohol addiction. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.